What's up, guys? It's your boy Josiah, and you are watching another episode of Cocktails with Josiah. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Cocktails with Josiah. I have the lovely Rashad Garrett, the CEO of The Faith of a Mustard Seed. How are you today?
I'm amazing. Thank you for having me.
Yes. So, Rashad, just tell us a little bit about, what you do and just kind of introduce us to the kind of line of work that you do as well.
Well, what we do as a company is we provide therapy and counseling services for the masses. And when I say the masses, I'm going to scale that back and say just Texas right now, because that's the only place our therapists and counselors are licensed. But we offer the support that people are scared to go get, people are scared to talk about. What we started out with was just a thought process of, hey, how can we make, counseling a better suit for the therapists and the members of society who actually need the therapy or the counseling. And so me and a friend had a conversation and we were like, well, how about you just do it on your phone? And I thought about that. I was like, that's amazing. And of course, then I started doing my research about telehealth and what telehealth was. And then we delved deeper into how can we make this our own thing and put our name on it. And so that's when we delved into creating a logo, a brand. And we're moving forward from just doing, regular therapy and counseling sessions to now we're looking into doing retail therapy. So we have clothing that's coming out. We're looking into doing aromatherapy. We're looking for things that are going to be helpful to the mind, body, and spirit when it comes to oils, candles, all kinds of things that are going to help with different facets of just being, mentally savvy. And so that, again, in a nutshell, is how we started. We started with a conversation, and then we just matriculated on to start putting the name out there and developing things. Now we have the app where the counselors can be reached. It's not unlocked yet or have been plugged in, but we're working on getting it done within the next 2 to 3 weeks so that people can finally not even just see a counselor, but start communicating via text message, phone call with the specialist that they are assigned to after they go through the process. It's really amazing. Like, I cannot wait for people to see it. It's going to be dope. I love it. I love it.
So pretty much just everything all around, not only doing, teletherapy, but like you said, retail therapy, aerobic therapy, like that's pretty dope. You don't really see that many companies do that. You have most people that just kind of do therapy in person as well as also, like through the phones and stuff like that. So that's pretty dope.
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to make sure that we cover every aspect of mental healthiness. You have some people that really just think that there's something wrong with them. So sounds, noises, music therapy, particular things of that nature, that it helps. So we're trying to make sure we have every aspect covered because, of course, out there's competition and everybody's doing the same thing. And we want to make sure that we set ourselves out from everyone else. But we really want to make sure that we're getting the masses. Like, we want to make sure that this is a safe place and an environment for people to want to come and join groups and have conversations and help understand that they're not on an island alone. So I didn't want to leave anybody out. I'm trying my best to make something that's going to be viable for every nook and cranny when it comes to mental unstableness.
Beautiful. So pretty much, with you getting into this field, there's always the topic of Black mental health has always been a taboo in the Black community because we don't really take it seriously. It's a subject that kind of gets swept under the rug, and people tell you just to go to church.
There you go. It gets swept under the biblical rug, and they're just like, go to church and pray. We, not just we as a people, but I say, especially when you say in our community, the issue is not really the female gender, it's us. We don't talk about the things that we're supposed to. We don't seek the help. We hold things in. We're taught to be strong. The only thing you need is God. And so that's where most men turn to. All men shall turn to God for thine help. So that's what you're taught when you're a child, you're growing up, and we don't physically think that somebody else can solve our humanistic problems because they're human as well. And so we shy away from wanting to hear the truth or understanding who we are or what we're going through or what life has done to us and how we can help ourselves fix it. Like that is one of the key issues that we have. And that's what I've noticed when it comes to dealing with young Black youth, being a life coach and having counseling sessions, well, not necessarily counseling sessions, but coaching sessions with people whom are of the African American persuasion and they are men. They they don't understand themselves, and that's a monumental issue because they don't speak out about it. And women speak out about it. They understand themselves, they learn themselves, they understand who they are and what they need. Men, we don't do those things, and we don't understand that the childhood trauma of being thrown in the pool has led up to being an adult who can't swim or doesn't want to learn how to swim or go near water, which is something really minute, but all of those things need to be talked about. If you feel as though that you can't find the right girlfriend or whatever it is that you're looking for, and it's like you consistently get into a pattern of something goes wrong and it's your fault, or you're always arguing with the people that you deal with, it's not them. Maybe it's time to think about yourself and seek help so you can hear it from, someone else. Try to help to bring it out of yourself. Like, hey, it might be some things that you might want to change. And it's just little bitty things like that we don't seek help with when we think that there's only one help, that just God, which of course I'm a believer. I love him. He provides all for me. But there's more help here that he's placed on earth for you to get what you need. And that's really what I am trying to do. I want to make it to where underprivileged youth can use the app and not have the access to insurance necessarily. They can still see someone to where that can be what is the word that I'm looking for? So that we can counteract the things that are happening now in older men. I want the youth to be able to grow into a better being so that we don't continue to have the same generational curses, problems, and issues
being
in
passed down.
society. There you go.
Yes. So let's take a little more deeper look into the subject. Pretty much like what really just sparked you to kind of get into Black mental health?
So, personal experiences myself, yes, I had identity issues for a really long time. I had insecurities and I wanted to just all around fit in. So, it took me having to see a mental health professional and to coax myself through understanding who I was. It took me to, be brought to realization by someone who understood my issues and what I were going through. I learned, a lot about myself. Um, that it weren't that I were insecure. It was just that everything that everybody were praising was, not what I had to offer, and that was okay. Everything that I had was perfectly fine. Everything that I could do, how smart I was, X, Y, and Z. Like it really helped me understand more or less who I was as a person so that I understand what I liked, what I didn't like, who I would be, best suited to be with and things of that nature. I learned so much from that experience. And it took me 6 months of getting counseling to understand that life is okay and it's not you, everybody's different.
Woo! Yes, I love that. Thank you so much for
I'm sorry,
sharing
I'm
that.
long-winded.
No, no, no. I'm here for it. And I was gonna just kind of reflect, I'm just gonna piggyback off what you said. I myself has dealt with identity issues and not really being accepted into society. So it took me a long time. And then also I come from a family, like you said, generational curses when it comes from broken communication. So I didn't really know how to communicate with my past partners. And I was really toxic in my past relationships. And I think it took until 2 years ago I actually decided to kind of make that move, and rather than just saying, like what grandma tell you to do is pray, actually seek professional help. Seek professional help to just kind of identify what are my triggers because I didn't know. I know because I'm used to be listen. I'm an Aries. I don't know if that counts, but I'm a hothead, right? Like you say something to me. Oh, wait a minute. Why you look at me like? Wait. Why you look like that?
Oh God. Oh Jesus, have mercy on on thine
Okay,
soul.
so yeah, so
Bless
imagine that.
God. Woo,
So
Jesus,
imagine that, and then
I don't know
being
how to admit
broken,
to some stuff. Oh,
being
baby.
broken on top of that, right? But I was
I'm
just
listening.
saying for myself, I dealt with a lot of past trauma. So it took me to actually go to therapy to just talk about these situations, and it really helped a lot. So with that being said, how important is how important is seeking therapy to you? And when you went through your things, how did it help you become a better person?
Oh man, I think seeking therapy is just like seeking a OBGYN. You want the best, right? Like especially when you're pregnant, you want the best of the best of the best. Like seeking a therapist is key to your health, like period. It took me a while because I wanted someone who wasn't going to judge me. I wanted somebody who was going to be faith based. I wanted someone who was going to be African American. I wanted someone who was going to be a male only because I wanted to make sure that the person that were helping me make my decisions were going to more or less give me the perspective from empathy instead of sympathy. So I prefer a male counselor over a woman counselor. It, man, it is imperative find like it is imperative finding the perfect person to fit what you have going on and make sure that they can counsel you the proper way. Like I can't stress it enough.
Hmm.
It helped me on multiple different levels. There are particular things that I would and would not do that I was supposed to, and they were being viewed as negative because from a particular perspective, such as a male's perspective, it was like, hey, that signifies and shows this, that, and the third. I really learned more about growing into my manhood, especially when I sought out therapy. I learned how to be more professional when I sought out therapy. I understood that, nothing is, given to you. Especially in society standpoint as a man, and you have to get out here and you have to make sure that you make a way out of no way. I didn't have that mentality prior to getting, someone to talk to me about my personal issues and everything that I had going on to walk me through what I needed to do to be successful.
Absolutely. I love that you said that. I know for me, now I'm not gonna lie, the first time I went to therapy, it was somebody that my
Hmm.
parents recommended me to. I was like, what?
Hmm.
I was adult, but it was Christian therapy. And
Yes.
it was an older white man who was my therapist. And when I tell you, it's like he
Okay.
didn't even listen to me. And I knew at that time I had to switch therapists because I was talking to him about my broken relationships with people. And then he was like,
Uh-huh.
you are a very nice, handsome young man. I'm pretty sure you can get you a wife quickly. And I was like, nah, I did not tell you on the first session that I was not straight. So I'm just like, okay.
and and so that's why I was saying it's important to make sure that you find somebody that's going to fit you. I had to make sure that I found somebody who was an LGBTQ counselor, along with someone who, understood faith and things of that nature. Like pairing you with someone who is going to understand you is key and important. Like
Hmm.
it is imperative, um, just so that you can have a sort of relationship, not even a sort of, you can develop a relationship and a bond with a person that is giving you advice. It's just like a friendship. You only confide in particular friends because you know that they're going to give sound advice. It's not that you know that they're going to give you sound advice. As a human, you now feel comfortable with that
Hmm.
person. Your guard is down. You can relate to them. They can relate to you. It's the same thing with a counselor. You have to build that friendship with someone who is going to understand you and give you the advice that you need to be successful instead of telling you what you want to hear. Or, for instance, like he was like, you can find you a nice wife. If you paid attention to me and cared about me as a person and built a relationship with me as a mental health professional, you would understand that our sessions should be planned. You should understand my issues. You should be looking at my chart, going back over what it is prior to, and seeing that that's not who I am. I like men, or, I like FTMs, or I like, transgenders. Like, those are important things for your counselor to know. It's just as well as when you build a relationship with your barber, you sit down and they just start cutting. You don't even have to tell them what you want. you should find a counselor. And that's what we have set up. We have a series of questions. We have a questionnaire that's going to lead you to the person that's going to best suit you. And it's not just one person, give you an array of different counselors who are going to fit into the categories that you need them
Mhm.
to fit into so you can get the support that you need. And that's why I need everybody on Team Faith of a Mustard Seed. We are making sure that we don't have those types of issues. Oh, well, you can get a nice wife, but I like women and I am a woman. Like, we don't have time for that. That's a waste of time and money because you paid for that session. So, did you really get anything out of that?
Absolutely not. That's why that was the day I left because it's just like I don't know, talking to a doorknob at this point.
It exactly. You shouldn't be talking to you shouldn't feel like you don't want to be there. You shouldn't feel like you're talking to a doorknob. You should feel
Mhm.
like you're talking to your best friend every time you go see your therapist and your counselor. They should understand what it is that is going on with you again before you walk through the door. Because again, most counselors are on their P's and Q's. I'm not going to say the counselors, therapists, and psychiatrists are all like that person.
Mhm.
You have phenomenal, astronomical clinicians out there that are, amazing. But you want to make sure that each clinician is going to fit, what it is you need them to fit into. You wouldn't go buy, a gigantic Great Dane if you live in a 600 square foot apartment, right? You go find the dog that fits for you. You're gonna go get the little Yorkie that's cute. So I mean, that's a great plug-in to have. And when I say
Mhm.
plug-in, somebody that completely fits you. Like, it is important. To this day, the gentleman that is my counselor, we've built a relationship, a friendship, and now we are legitimate friends. I no longer need counseling because I've understood my issues and I've now made a friend. But that friendship helped me develop and grow into the man that I am
Beautiful, beautiful, well said.
today.
So,
Wow.
13.2% of the U.S. population identifies as Black or African American. Of those, over 16% had a mental illness in the past year, which is over 6.8 million people. So more people than the population of Chicago, Houston, and Philadelphia combined. So this is a really serious issue, and I feel like one of the most things that's why it's so important to me is because I'm always here for healing. Identifying your roots and kind of just growing from there. So with that being said, my question to you is, what are your thoughts on self-care, and what are your thoughts on like just really just finding out who you are as a person?
Self care is important. Self care, it lets you know whom you are and what you need to make sure you survive. And you asked me about self care, and what was your other question?
Um, how important is it just to kind of just like love yourself?
So you
Yes,
said
sir,
self
CEO.
care. Self care is the number one thing that you need to make sure that you have. If you don't take care of yourself, no one else will. I think Michelle Obama said it best. I realized that it wasn't Barack's job to make me happy. It was my job to make me happy. That's called knowing yourself and having self care. If
Mm,
you can't make you happy and you're looking for someone else to make you happy and you're not loving on yourself and caring about yourself and taking care of yourself, you haven't looked at the problem yet. You need to love you more than somebody else loves you. That, oh my gosh, taking care of yourself. And I say that because of getting your hair done, getting your hair cut, your feet done, your hands done, eating properly, working out. That's self care. Stop pampering. Not If you're not loving yourself, please email ceo@phone's.therapy.com because we have a problem.
there you
We
go.
for real, we have a problem. There it goes. Let me know how we can get you to the proper person to help you with what's going on. Depression, PTSD, anxiety, you don't like your job doesn't like you. You don't understand why your relationships are failing. You don't understand why you can't be patient. You don't understand why you can't sit still. Please let us know what you need so we can get you the help you deserve. Because again, like you said, there are things out there that people are dealing with, like not loving themselves. There are people that that are dealing with particular anxieties that are easily fixed just by having a conversation or communicating or conversing with someone. Man, that's key. That's key to having a healthy life, period.
Hmm.
Loving thyself, man. And I keep using my colloquialisms. My sister, me and her, we speak like we're in the olden times, like dying self. Um, but when I learned to love myself, I learned to understand the flaws that I had in relationships and friendships. I learned a multitude of things after getting counseling and having somebody help me understand that I played a role in all those things. It wasn't everybody else. It was me. It was a particular thing that I didn't know what would make me happy because I didn't know myself. So when I learned myself and understood myself, I understood that everything that somebody was doing was to make me happy, but I was being unappreciative of it. I learned that I was unappreciative. I was selfish. I was self-centered. I, didn't know how to compromise. I thought I knew everything. I learned that I was insecure about my weight, my height, my looks. I learned a lot of things. I also learned that I had a horrible defense mechanism that ran people off and that made
Hmm.
people hate me. Then, when I learned to love myself, I stopped being so snarky and sarcastic and mean and rude. And I started looking at myself going, you're not that fat. And so it's like I learned to embrace who I was as a person, looking in the mirror, going, okay, okay, yeah, you cute or whatever. You handsome or whatever. Okay, cool. If you wanted to, you could do a little one too, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
And it got to a point to where I started loving me and going and looking in the mirror, and I'm like, Cardi B, damn, I'm fine. Like,
Right.
okay, hey, and who doesn't think that I am? That's their opinion. There's different, everything is different for everybody, but I had to learn to love me. So therefore, I think like that for myself. You have some people that wake up in the morning and they find something wrong with them. Oh, I hate my legs. They're this. I hate the way that I look in this. I hate this. I hate that. I hate my hair this way because it makes me look. It makes me look. For what reason? Whose standards are you living up to? Because apparently you don't have any of your own.
Right. And
And
you know what?
getting those,
Hmm.
go ahead. Go
Oh no, go
ahead.
ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
But I was saying getting those and having those for yourself and understanding you is important. But go
Yes.
ahead.
I love that. I love that you said that because that's so true. I experienced it at myself, years ago, and just really just like
Hmm.
feeling insecure and oh, I'm too skinny or oh my God, my nose is big. I'm like, bro, like at the end of the day, you are you. So you're gonna have to like be able to just accept what you are. I mean, it is what it is, and just keep it moving. And then I think with me, my issue is I know you probably came across some people like how some people kind of seek validation like when you're unsure of what you want to do with your life,
Hmm.
you talk to people and you try to seek validation. That was my number one issue, and me and my therapist kind of got me together because she was just like, hey, like, you can't be keep doing that, seeking validation. At the end of the day, you have to kind of go with
Because
your gut feeling.
you have to, because you have to do what you want to do. And so you can't seek validation from everybody because everybody's gonna make the decision for you always. Like, oh, tell me what to do, tell me what to do, tell me what to do. And seeking validation, it falls into so many components when it comes to mental unhealthiness. It falls into depression if you're not validated by the right person or the right people. It can really kind of sort of hurt. And I'm, again, glad that you sought therapy. That's something that's important. People want to be validated from the wrong types of people or from the wrong situations. And that, sends us into places where we don't need to be, of mental unhappiness, depression, anguish, all types of things. So, like, again, touching back on the question you asked, how important is it for you to find a therapist? Like, you needed somebody to tell you, say, chill out, because
Yes.
you're doing too much. Do you and work with it.
Right.
And that's just
Okay.
what it is.
Yes, yes, yes. So let's talk about what's next for the CEO Rashad and what's next for the faith of a mustard seed. What you got coming up?
Oh, what I have coming up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start live podcasting. We have courses coming out. It's called the Influencers Nation course. We are teaching young Black children and young Black adults, even older Black adults, how to build a business, how to start a business. It's going to be a 3 to 4 part series, and we're going to host it live weekly, making sure that we're giving nuggets of information on what you need to do if you want to start a certain type of company. The first, couple of things you need to know to be successful, and the mistakes that we've made, and making sure that you have access to the knowledge you need to be a successful business owner. We also have a magazine coming out. We'll have news feeds with not daily, but yes. So we're gonna come up with a weekly magazine that'll be changed out each week, and it'll have news feeds, what's been going on in the world, what's going on right now. You'll be able to connect to different streaming services so that you can see different news clips of different important things that have gone on throughout the week. And the most important portion, we are opening up our actual apps shop. So you'll be able to shop every item that we have. So of course, I just drop different items here and there. I have a whole arsenal of different pieces that everyone not everyone, I'm sorry, that friends and family have seen. And they're waiting for me to put them all in the store. So we actually have a massive store releasing. And what you guys have seen so far is just little bitty bits and pieces. I'm trying to see how the community will, react to what we have so that we can sell it all at one time. Therapy, clothing, aromatherapy, our social network platforms. I'm going to make sure that we've scheduled all push notifications. We're going to go full-fledged force. So what's coming up for us is the world, and we're coming for y'all. We love y'all.
Y'all definitely coming for it. Yes.
We're coming for y'all. Yes.
Well, where can everybody follow you on social media? Like, where can everybody follow your business and everything?
Well, on Twitter, on Instagram, it's Mustard Seed Drip. We just changed our Facebook name to Mustard Seed Drip as well, so it's all the same thing. If you are looking for us on Facebook, no, I'm sorry, it's not the same thing. If you're looking for us on Facebook, it's Faith of a Mustard Seed. It's not hard to find. We're the only one with a crest that looks like this. All you need is a little bit of faith, just a little bit to make it. This is our logo. It is kind of sort of, not small enough that where you can see the whole thing, but this is us. We're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're everywhere. We're posting, we're on Snapchat. We are everywhere you need us to be, whenever you need us to be. Like I said, if you guys need anything, information, to call us, you need a job. I'm kidding. If you need a job, no, please don't come this way. I'm not anybody else. But if you need us and you need us abruptly, you can always email CEO@foamstherapy.com, or you can email info@foamstherapy.com. I'm always willing to respond to someone, get someone to the right person that they need to talk to. Even though we haven't gone live with giving therapy yet, I still have connections to all of the people that work for us to make sure that you're getting the support that you need. Even if you just like to be put into one of the groups that we have that meet, we do have Zoom life coaching sessions every Wednesday and Friday and Monday at 7. So it's something that I lead. I lead with a small group of people. If you want to join the session, please email me. Let me know what it is that you're needing support with. We can talk through some things. I have solo sessions. I have group sessions. Again, I'm just a life coach, not a therapist or a counselor, but if you need one, I got you. We can make it happen.
Well, listen, I'm excited for everything that's about to come out for you. You're actually building an empire. So I'm happy to be witnessing this. And just thank you so much just for coming on the show and just kicking it with me. So yes. Well, guys,
let me know when you're ready for me to kick it again.
Listen, I'm always ready. Listen. I be wanting to kind of do these group discussions, but one day it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yes. But thank you so much for coming on the show, guys. And we are out.